Incoming transmission from Nair Shipweaver.
Greetings, I'm Nair Shipweaver. You might call me an observer of a certain galaxy far, far away. Like many of you, I am fascinated by the elegant weapons of the Jedi, lightsabers. If you're tuning into this transmission, you're likely wondering what each color symbolizes. Any given lightsaber is powered by a kyber crystal that can take on one of several colors. The crystals are found colorless, but once bonded to a Jedi, they can turn into a shade of blue, green, purple, or yellow. Blue and green are the most common and can have different hues. However, in the High Republic era, yellow lightsabers were equally as prominent as blue and green. During the Clone Wars era, yellow lightsabers were mainly used by the Jedi Temple Guards, but one was also used by Asajj Ventress. Decades later, Rey Skywalker constructed her own lightsaber, yellow in color, being the first appearance of one in live-action Star Wars media. Purple is a much rarer color, with Mace Windu being the sole wielder of a purple lightsaber on screen for many years. You can thank actor Samuel L. Jackson for the inclusion of purple lightsabers in Star Wars, as he specifically requested his character wield that color. So far, the other on-screen purple lightsaber we've seen was in The Acolyte, with Jedi Master Vernastra Rhoh wielding a purple light whip. Another rare color of lightsaber is black, with only one lightsaber of this color in existence, the legendary Darksaber, once wielded by a Mandalorian Jedi. For Mandalorians, he who wields the Darksaber rules Mandalore. This lightsaber was first introduced to canon in the Clone Wars TV series, wielded by Pre Vizsla of the Mandalorian splinter group Death Watch. We still don't know how or why Vizsla's ancestor had a black kyber crystal, and this may be a Star Wars mystery left unsolved, just like with Yoda's species. Green lightsabers, on the other hand, are not a rare sight in the Star Wars galaxy, being one of the most common lightsaber colors one could wield. The green lightsaber made its on-screen debut in Return of the Jedi, with Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker wielding a new lightsaber after losing his blue one in Cloud City. The main reason behind Luke wielding a green lightsaber instead of a blue one is because the color blue didn't stand out from the blue skies of Tatooine in the early part of the movie, so they opted to use green since it was more visible. Additionally, using green instead of blue symbolizes that this is, in fact, a new lightsaber in case you can't see the hilts from a distance. There are also yellow-green lightsabers, with one user being Ahsoka Tano, wielding a yellow-green Shoto blade during the Clone Wars. Blue is another very common lightsaber color in Star Wars canon, being one of the first colors introduced to the screen through the blades of both Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. When coloring the weapons in post-production, the special effects team opted to use blue to symbolize good and red to symbolize evil. Blue lightsabers can be dark, light, or in between. The other first lightsaber color to be introduced on screen is the red lightsaber, most notably wielded by Darth Vader, Darth Maul, Kylo Ren, and others. Force users wielding a red lightsaber have used the Force to bend a bonded kyber crystal to its will, bleeding it as if it were organic until the crystal turned red. Kyber crystals can be pushed too far in the bleeding process and crack, as seen with Kylo Ren's unstable blade. Next, we have orange-red lightsabers, wielded only by Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati in canon so far. It's assumed that their kyber crystals have gone through a similar, if not the same bleeding process as Sith kyber crystals, but there is a specific reason why their lightsabers are a different shade of red. Dave Filoni, a longtime Star Wars creator, justified this by saying that Skoll and Hati played a different role within Star Wars than the Sith have so far, but they still wanted the audience to know that these characters were on the dark side. So in this case, the lightsaber color is implemented for a specific story reason. White-colored blades, like red lightsabers and assuming orange-red as well, are not naturally occurring colors. See, white kyber crystals were once bled by the dark side of the Force, then later taken by another Force user who used the Force to purify the crystals, causing the white-colored blade. Essentially, the individual purifying the crystal must infuse their own positive emotions to replace the pain and suffering the crystal went through when it was bled. Ahsoka Tano is the most notable white lightsaber user, having purified red kyber crystals from an Inquisitor. However, she is not the only one, as other Force users in the galaxy have purified red crystals and used them in their own lightsabers. Now let's get into orange, which is a bit trickier to discuss compared to the other colored blades. This is because the only instance of someone using an orange lightsaber in the canon is Obi-Wan, when his lightsaber was sabotaged during a mission with his master Qui-Gon Jinn. His kyber crystal was swapped out for a colon crystal, essentially Fool's Kyber. These crystals were orange in color and emitted an orange blade when used. A colon-powered lightsaber could still injure others, but was far less lethal and effective compared to a kyber-powered blade. The other example of orange lightsabers in Star Wars media is as an optional color in the Jedi series video games, alongside magenta, cyan, and indigo. Technically speaking, this means the only Jedi who could have potentially wielded these four colors is Jedi Cal Kestis. We have yet to see these colors in any other form on screen, so for now, these colors will remain unused by a Jedi. Well, that you know of. But perhaps there are Jedi or other Force users in the galaxy using magenta, cyan, or indigo lightsabers. There are thousands of lightsaber wielders spread across this vast galaxy, so it is possible that someone out there touched a kyber crystal and ended up with one of these rare colors when they bonded with it.
Nair's note number 1. Upon further research, I discovered examples of magenta-colored lightsabers on screen, and more purple lightsaber wielders within the Young Jedi Adventures. This show is canon to the universe at large, and thus must be included in this transmission. It is curious to see how magenta, purple, and yellow lightsabers fell out of fashion by the time of the Sith's return. But that's a topic for another day.
Transmission over.